But what hurt us most was when we bought into the socialization process. Let me tell you what that is. Socialization is where you get your ideas, your principles, and your concepts on how to live your life, okay? What we call integration was white people, so-called white people, primarily Jewish people, who sold us a perspective on life called integration. See, it wasn't just that word. It was perspective on life called integration that said, partner with us white folks and you're going to be all right. Hadn't been in a hostile relationship with white folks so long and had suffered at the end of it, we were looking for relief, so we were willing to partner thinking we were creating a new humanity. But what happened, we were disarmed in the war. We were disarmed. And so the same people who were asking us to do this was the primary retailers in all black communities across America. The same people who were asking us to do this was the ones who was running the school boards and the schools in our community. The same people who were asking us to do this were the very people who was controlling the music industry. The same people who were asking us to do this was the very people who was controlling the movie industry as it affects us. So these same people were the ones who were the managers of the sports and athletes from the black community. So they're telling us, don't compete with us, integrate with us, but we're running everything. So they're making billions off of us, and we're not making nothing. And what we're saying now, we need to wake up to the reality that it's about ethnicity, okay? You must do for self, as Elijah Muhammad told us, you know. Malcolm said, black nationalism. People say, oh, I don't want to be that. Define black nationalism, Mr. Malcolm X. He said black nationalism is owning the economics, politics, and culture where you live, being in control of economic, politics, and culture where you live. That sounds like Chinatown to me. That sounds like Williamsburg, Brooklyn to me. Right. That sounds like Little Italy to me. So why it can't be Little Black or Little Africa? You know what I'm saying? If we're going to compete with some people in an economic process, we can't play by rules that's different from the rules that make the game. You can't go on a basketball court with a football in your hand and think you're going to run the 100-yard dash. That ain't going to work. You're going to lose at that basketball game every time. So you got to find out what the rules of the economic game is, and then you have to learn how to play it better than the person that's in the game with you. And what we're learning about economics, at the end of the day, the motivation for economics is the need to provide food, clothing, shelter, safety, and security for ourselves and our family. See, we can talk all this other stuff. Well, I got a degree because I want to go to college. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. Why? You want to make money. Why do you want to make money? Because I've got to buy some food. I got to buy some clothing, I got to afford some shelter, and I want to provide safety for my family. So that's the bottom line. And if that is the bottom line, you got to be in control of that. You can't depend on someone else to deliver that to you. And so what Happy is going to try to show is how to develop black businesses, how to manage black businesses, how to organize black people around the management and the marketing of black economic enterprises where we live, especially in the United States of America, but anywhere in the world we happen to be today, where we control the retail and the wholesale that affects us. If you see the little Arab store in our community, you see all Arabs are working in the stores. The guy that comes with that little box truck to deliver this produce to the stores, they're all Arabs. The little warehouse that the box truck picked up from, which is now at the wholesale end of that retail chain, they're all Arabs. That's the way you do it. The problem with that picture is the consumer that's giving all those Arab guys work so they can make money and go home and take care of their families are all black folks. You see? And at the same time we're giving all those consumer dollars to this community, our young men and women are standing on the street because there's no store for them to go and get a job in. There's no retail business in the community that they can work in that they own, because other ethnic groups is hiring their own people so that they can provide the food, clothing, shelter, safety, and security for themselves. I'm not anti-anybody. We're not anti-anybody. We're just pro-black folks being to feed, clothe, and shelter themselves. And you cannot do this if you're so naive and you're so ignorant, you give the best of your capital away to someone else who's trying to do the same thing for themselves.